All right, let's move on to our last one, which is Whitestown, which we kind of alluded to Lebanon, and this is um, kind of on the corridor to Lebanon, right? Coming out of Zionsville, getting towards that I-65, and then heading up to Lebanon. So I see, I mean, there's already a ton of development out there in Whitestown with the Anson. Um, and I don't know if you've been out there lately. Have your kids played soccer out there ever at the Zionsville?
Yeah, we go out there, I think about once a year at ZYSA. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't they have a big Halloween one, Spooktacular or something like that?
Oh, they do. You know what? We haven't attended that in several years, but I
Okay.
do remember going over there for that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you haven't been there in a couple of years, it's crazy how much new stuff is there. It's kind of like Westfield in a way. You feel like everything is new. There's so much construction. I mean, from residential to commercial to I mean, there's everything is brand new there. So it kind of feels like that energy level and that like building level. And so I'm kind of shocked to see that the number of homes is only 29. But I think as time goes on, we'll see that this market grow because just of the development that's going on out there. So right now it's a smaller market, but I think there's definitely room to grow on there. But anyway, it had a huge jump in February this year over February of last year. So we haven't seen much since then. It's been pretty flat, but look, it's up 6% from last year, which is fantastic. Relatively flat, up 0.2% from last month. Average rent 22.29. And then I don't even know, should I talk about the days on the market or should we just end it early? I mean, 111, that is depressing.
I feel like somebody's cat fell asleep on the keyboard and just landed on one. All right, because my goodness.
You know what, though, honestly, you mentioned it, I think, in one of the previous ones that with these small markets, sometimes those numbers can be skewed. And I really have a feeling that's what it is. 111 is just, that is absolutely out of control. But if you look at the number of active homes, it's only 29. And we pull the average days on the market from the MyBoard data. And that's going to be even more limited than that. So I wouldn't put too much credence in that. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I'm not thinking that the average home in Whitestown is going to be on the market for 3+ months. That's just crazy. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, only a couple comments for Whitestown. You're absolutely right. It's an expanding market. It is a little bit of a ritzy area, right? I mean, so at least again, that's the vision that I have in my head when I think about Whitestown. And so which makes me have the recommendation that if you have new money, and I might turn on this in a second, if you have new money, I'm probably not looking at Whitestown. But if I have a 2%, 3%, 4% interest rate and I'm moving from Whitestown, am I going to put my house on the market there? You're darn right I am, at a $2,200 average rent, which looks like it stays pretty consistent in our sneak peek into May. I have no problem. And not only that, your quality applicants, your school systems, right? I mean, which in return directly reflects your quality of applicants, your typically lower vacancy rate, although that average days on market is going to call me a liar. Your average sales price, though, at 362, I don't know. I might be even considering this. It's your average sales price at 362, which might be a little bit skewed that I think about it, Mike, with our home sales under the $500,000 price point, because I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, Whitestown probably has a few that stretch over that $500,000 price. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so it might be, I don't know, might be a little bit misleading there. But anyway, it's consistent with our previous market reports. At 362 as an average sales price, with an average rent at 2,200, I might be looking at putting fresh money there. I don't know. Well, and also the appreciation play is going to be huge here. It's going to be huge. So,
yep. And I think that honestly, all the growth and everything that they're doing in Lebanon, they're doing Lily's putting a project out there. I mean, there's like 3 really huge projects going there. So this is a really accessible. I mean, it's right off of 65. I mean, you're 15 minutes from Lebanon. And so I don't know. I kind of feel like over the course of time, the Lebanon, Indy / Whitestown, all the way up to Purdue, up in Lafayette, I think that's going to kind of merge into one big corridor. I think is what's going to happen. And this is kind of the South connector. So I think there's a lot of potential here, honestly.
You're absolutely right. I forgot about its proximity to Lebanon. That's awesome. That's stellar. Yeah, with the growth that's happening in Lebanon, I mean, all the CEOs will end up in Whitestown.
Yeah, the country club I talked about.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, that's it for Whitestown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's our last one. I think that's a wrap for this month, right?
That's that. You're right. That would be a wrap. I tried to wrap us early last month, and now I'm trying to wrap us late as if we have more to come. That's a wrap. I know you enjoyed this episode because it was awesome and it was super educational, especially about your average days on market and how important it is to have a team around you that's educated and that's going to assist you in beating your competitors out there, because that's what this is. I mean, you are competing with the other properties that are currently on the market. Stay tuned for next month where we're going to go over the May market reports. I can't wait to see what happens to the average days on market when we're in the market that we're in right now. I get really excited to get into the next one to see where the trend is really heading. If you have any questions, you got to throw them into our comments. Send us a private message. I'm happy to provide any insight into your current property, whether you're currently a client of Red Doors or not. I'm happy to provide any educational assistance I might be able to. Don't ever hesitate. I'm always happy to do that. Mike, thanks for joining us here today. We'll catch you next month. Any closing comments you want to add?
I don't think so, other than just stay tuned. I see if my predictions come true or not on those average days on the market. It's always so exciting coming out of spring and going into summer. I think the fundamentals are there, so stay tuned for next month to see if those days on the market go down like I'm predicting.
Perfect. All right, Red Door World. We'll catch you next month.
All right. See you guys.